Greetings, people of Earth! My name is Rob Wieland. I am an author, game designer, and professional nerd. Tonight, I am the host of Theater of the Mind Players, your friendly, local, actual play show.
Flaps.
This...
Friendly, local, actual play show.
No.
Flaps.
I feel like that's my guard squad. It's just, no, I can't.
Flaps that slaps.
Okay.
Flaps that slaps.
They're really going to try to make fetch happen. Okay. Tonight, we are playing Brindlewood Bay, a cozy mystery game that each of the players here tonight have made an elderly lady who is a member of the Murder Maven book club that gets wrapped up in a mystery. If you haven't already seen the first 2 episodes of this show, you want to go back to the first one to watch us make the Murder Mavens. Last week, they got wrapped up in the murder of Lindsay O'Neill, the coordinator and showrunner of the Brindlewood Bay Sheep and Wool Festival. And tonight, they're coming together to theorize and figure out who done it. So they've gathered the clues, they've gathered the suspects, and now we cut to the space where you come together when you are putting together a mystery. Where is that space?
Bookstore? Or tea shop?
Back of van.
Should it be in a public park? Like, just by, like, a gazebo or something?
Yeah, we're either sitting around in a gazebo or we're in that part of the park where all the people play chess.
I could also say in a McDonald's dine-in area.
I mean, like, that's legit.
Culver's.
Yeah.
Culver's.
Or Culver's parking lots with picnic tables.
The last time I played this, we created a restaurant called Captain Rudy's. That
Are we at Dr. Pepperoni's?
I remember mid-pandemic, there was a bunch of people in the Culver's parking lot with lawn chairs sitting in a circle because they wouldn't allow them in.
So they drove through and then would sit outside.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I think the bookstore is probably a good spot here. So
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree.
What's our bookstore called, you guys? Read 'em and weep.
That's not a bad one, actually.
That's pretty clever.
That's pretty good. All right, I'm good with that.
Yeah, we don't need to belabor the point after that was such a great
Oh my
name.
god, my pun got picked.
is this what
It's the TMP first.
Wow, that's a really fast decision for this group to make.
For real.
Yeah, like usually it's 15 minutes, but okay. So there are 6 suspects as a reminder. Ronnie Anderson, Jane Stadler, Lana Ho, Brantwell Brave, Zelda Lockman, and Gunnar Holmstein. So you've got the clues. The way that the theorize move works is once you've pulled together enough clues, one of you is going to make a roll. The difficulty of this mystery is a 6, which is sort of the beginner mystery that also is the one that, plays in one night as opposed to a 7 or an 8, which goes a little longer. And the more clues that you use in your theory roll, the more or the bigger your bonus is. So right now, if you didn't use any clues and just were throwing stuff out there, you'd be rolling 2d6 minus 6. But for every clue that you use...
So we could still get it.
No, actually, because if you roll a 6 or less, your theory is completely wrong.
Okay, they need to beat it.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we can't use a Gold Crown Mysteries move on this?
No.
Okay.
So, should we make a Charlie Day board on the table with these?
All right, here we go. Oh, okay.
Here's my case for Jane. Distinctive footprint. She went all out on the Renaissance garb, so she's not going to be wearing boots like all the rest of us, because she really goes all out. So her footprint's going to be different from the rest of us. I know she's on medication, so if she's got... So that empty pill bottle that she found, of course she's going to tear the label off of it, because she takes heart medication. And that heart medication, she's going to take the label off so nobody thinks that it's her. Right. The knitting needles came from her booth. Obviously. the bloody wool matches the wool from her booth and was found at her booth in her garbage can, which was really a rookie move. What else do we have?
We also got an empty syringe from that little kid.
What do we think that possibly could be? I mean, honestly.
If we're thinking about it, we didn't find or notice any syringe marks on the body. So my thought is that she put some sort of diabetic medication in to level out her blood sugar.
Whenever you guys are
Insulin,
ready,
dear?
I'll blow up all your theories.
Okay.
But what I think actually happened is that Jane and Gunnar were working together.
Not my Gunnar.
And Gunnar,
But she was with Gunnar.
I was
Yeah.
with Gunnar the whole time.
but when Jane executed the murder, Gunnar went out to distract the meddling old ladies that always run into anything in this town. And of course,
Gunnar wasn't distracting.
of course
he was there
they
for
would
me.
start with Trudy because
You
she's the
say
most
distracting, I say charming.
everything. So if we had Gunnar giving a shocking amount of cash to Lindsay earlier in the day to
No,
get
no,
her...
no, no, no. Gunnar was mad at Lindsay.
He was trying to sponsor the
Oh.
show.
But there was that burnt envelope which matched his logo.
I'm sure there's a plausible explanation for the envelope.
Such as murder?
No.
Or Jane was framing him.
No, or what happened is Lindsay burned the envelope that had a check in it, and Gunnar insisted on giving her the money anyway via PayPal.
Yes, and then he just Venmo'd it because he's a good man.
So here's what I think. Gunnar sent Jane a syringe in the mail, which is why his logo and was on the envelope, because she's addicted to drugs he makes. He uses his drug money to then bribe the sheep lady,
Yes.
but she says no. So he decides to murder her, but tries to frame Jane in the process, because he already knows that her drug scheme won't come up clean, making it more obvious that it's her. So he takes her knitting needles, make sure that she's closest, make sure it's her footprints in the area, and frames her.
We did never find Jane. What if she's passed out from a drug coma right now?
Girls, Gunnar doesn't make drugs.
You never know somebody until you go into their basement and find it full of meth, okay?
Or they have a poppy field.
I've been in the basement, dear.
There could be a field of poppies buried inside that farm.
A field of poppies buried inside the farm.
Haven't you watched that TV show Ozark? They do that shit.
Oh yes, poppy pods are very not great for you. I tried them in a...
Many times, yes. We can tell.
They're not great. They're not
Vanessa,
fun.
What clue did you have, honey?
What?
What clue did you have,
Oh,
honey?
I thanks to my friend Jimmy, we found the remnants of a burned envelope.
Right, okay.
All right. So here's what I'm thinking. I think that Jane was trying to frame my good Gunnar by using one of his envelopes to deliver a note to Lindsay. Yes. And then she stabbed Lindsay with the needle to silence her. Yes, before she stabbed her with the knitting needles. Otherwise, the scream we would have heard would have been Lindsay when she got stabbed, not Lana when she found the corpse. I feel like it probably wouldn't have been a quick death to be stabbed with the knitting needles, you know.
Oh, if you're stabbed in the back of the neck like that, you immediately cut off the central nervous system from the rest of the brain. It's a pretty much instant death. There's no reason why there would have been any scream.
Needles normally aren't that sharp. It would take quite a lot of force and quite a bit of time. So we probably would
So
have
you're
heard the
saying
struggle.
that a male farmer would probably have a better chance of doing the murder
That's not at all what
due
I'm
to
saying.
that extra
That's
force
not at all what I'm
required
saying.
for the knitting
No,
needle.
actually, I mean, if you do it just right in between the vertebrae, there's really not that much force needed.
And the
That-
possibility...
see, it was Jane.
and the possibility that it punctured the trachea, choking her so she couldn't scream.
No, actually, if you cut off, it cuts off the brain stem. You're not able to do anything. It's a pretty much instant death.
But then Jane used the wool from Barbara Streisand or possibly even Meryl Sheep
It could have been from around both.
fuck off. As a fuck off move.
She could have used it to clean.
Say fuck off with the wool.
She could have used it to clean her hands of the blood because stabbing does leave a blood splatter.
It does. It would.
Theoretically.
Yes.
So, it seems like you've got either the Gunner drug theory or the Jane
Revenge plot?
Just to throw it out there, mine uses the most clues.
It does, and I really like it.
Mine used all the clues too. Mine used all the clues too.
Let's lay it out in more.
No, okay. All right. I'm using Sarah voice because this is your
Yep.
The drugs, the syringe, and the empty pill bottle indicate that Lindsay was probably drugged. We didn't check for any syringes because we didn't think she was
Or
drugged.
someone else is using drugs.
Fucking let me finish, Ethan, I swear to God. All right, so empty pill bottles and syringe indicate that she was probably drugged, which it may not have been a struggle. It may have been her falling in the cabin.
What if Jane was doping the sheep to be softer?
That too.
That actually isn't
But
bad.
would you let me finish?
Let's hold up the clues when we use them in a theory so
Right,
we
so-
know how much we're using.
So
Okay.
we got these two.
Yes.
For drugging Lindsay, so it's easier to take her down.
And also sheep doping.
Potentially.
Easier to take Lindsay down for
Mhm.
these two. Knitting needles from her thing for the killing. Distinctive footprint because she's a weirdo and dresses like she's from the friggin' Ren Fair. Nothing wrong with Ren Fair. We love the Ren Fair.
Hi, Janny.
What we got?
We have Gunner's logo, the burned envelope, and the $25K in money that was sent to her PayPal.
The $25K sent to her PayPal was in lieu of the cash that was in the, or not the cash, the check that was in the burned envelope. The half torn, the logo came off of the check. So that was from the check that was in the burned envelope that he was trying to give to Lindsay because he still wanted to sponsor the event because it's good for his business. He then gave her the PayPal amount so she couldn't just rip it up and burn it on him. So that's what that happened with that. That's just happened. That's just circumstance. So it doesn't have anything to do with Jane necessarily.
So we couldn't use this
So
in
nothing to do with the
theory.
murder.
Nothing to do with Jane necessarily.
No, it still
would?
ties
Okay.
in as long as you're
Okay,
tying
okay.
it into.
Okay.
The theory.
And then a trash bag of bloody wool found at Jane's booth, her wool booth.
To wash the blood off of her hands after she committed murder with knitting needles?
Yeah, because she's just going to use what she has because she panicked and was, oh my God, blood.
Or
Okay.
hoofy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got to point out
Okay.
that if any human was to create a murder, they wouldn't use their own thing,
I know.
use their own material, and stash it at your own booth.
Yeah.
Panic.
Panic.
She's a career woman that's about to make her own website to undercut the person who's
It's a
hurting
frame
all
job.
of the people in there.
Well,
It's definitely a frame job.
It begs the question if it was
Definitely a frame
premeditated or not. Because if it was panic, then it wasn't a frame job.
Because we'd have to, because the drugging indicates pre-planning.
I
But
still
the
think it could be
panic-
sheep doping.
We want this to make a lot of sense because it's very important that this is airtight, even though we're making all this up.
Do we also have to do the means, opportunity,
No.
all that? No.
No,
Ethan,
like
what
as long
was-
as you tie the clues into your theory.
Ethan,
Like-
Win.
let's clearly
It's the
go
dice
over
roll.
your theory without the smoker voice so we can all hear that.
So, basic theory
Yeah.
is that Jane was a drug addict.
Hence the syringe.
And the
Which,
Pill bottle.
pill bottle.
Yep. Which basically gets those together.
Uh-huh.
And it was being supplied by Holstetter.
Holmstein?
Yep.
Yep.
The farm,
Okay.
which is where the envelope and the burnt thing, because delivered it but wanted to burn the evidence after.
Who the hell delivers their drugs in a logoed envelope?
A professional
for your farm?
farmer
Yeah.
wants to advertise that shit.
You've never done drugs, have you?
No. And then basically he murdered her because she wouldn't make his sheep he wanted win.
Because he tried to bribe her
Yes.
with the $25K to sponsor the event. And then his distinctive footprint was in the...
He's wearing cowboy boots, clearly.
Yeah, so it wouldn't have been his footprint.
No.
And what would that do to explain the wool?
Just more
Isn't
framing.
this the softest wool you've ever pet?
Is it possible?
Oh, that does make sense, Sarah. See, this is why this sheep should win. That does make sense.
I think there was sheep doping involved. Gunnar found out.
Can you dope
Give us-
sheep for better wool?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3
That's
bags.
all.
Which is just the amount that we found in the trash can.
I'm done.
Tony, give us that theory.
All right,
Use
all
our
right.
clues. Use our clues.
All right, sheep doping.
So, Jane knew that one of the sheeps were being doped for softer wool. So, she stole a bag of wool, right? Which later got covered in blood.
To have
Later.
it
We'll talk
tested?
about that. Yes.
During her murder.
No. Yes. Yes.
Sheep steroids.
Lindsay found the wool, right, to have it tested for sheep doping.
Shoping, as
Yes.
you would.
Gunnar found out about the sheep doping and pulled out as a sponsor because he knew it was going to come out, but he didn't want to make a big deal out of it, right? So he just had her burn the check. The real sponsor was whoever was doping the sheep, but Jane knew that that was happening. So we already talked about burning the envelope. This makes no sense.
Part of me just wants to be Ronnie Anderson.
Here's my theory for why it's Ronnie Anderson.
No, actually, here's a good one.
Yeah.
It's Lana. Because,
She wants to frame Jane because she knows about her.
yes.
Yeah.
And she lawyered up.
Oh, that's true. She was lawyering up very quickly. We're not even cops.
Right. And distinctive shoe,
Mm-hmm.
city girl.
Mm-hmm.
She's at like Act 3 of the rom-com, not Act 4 yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And the panicking makes more sense then. Wiping her hands on the bloody wool, etc., etc.
Right.
So,
Framing Jane.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of the things that indicate Jane indicate the framing, which indicate Lana.
so
The $25,000 is a bribe from Lana to Lindsay in order to try to convince Lindsay to
Meryl
tell
Sheep.
Jane to stay with Handmaid and not start her own website.
Because it did just raise the cut of that.
Yeah.
what was the drugs and syringe?
Last ditch effort because Lindsay said no and Lana just went into a rage. And she screamed because she blacked out raged
Murdered.
and murdered. So of course she's going to scream because she doesn't want to make it look like she did it. Because she already made it look like Jane did it.
So Lana framed Jane.
So everything that indicates Jane actually indicates Lana. Because Lana wants to keep Jane with Handmaid.
Okay, so now how can we talk Ronnie Anderson?
Ronnie Anderson has stock in Handmade and is pressuring Lana to make sure.
How do we make this a Murder on the Orient Express situation?
Where everybody did it a little bit?
Everyone did it a little bit.
A little bit of clue.
I actually think it might be Lana.
I think that the cash that we do find sent over to Lindsay was from Bronnie Anderson trying to get that win 2 years in a row ahead of this new rookie that's coming
Meryl
in.
Sheep.
However, didn't Lonnie Anderson say that she wanted to do it fair and square this time?
That's a logical
That was-
ruse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If she is on record saying that to people, why would anybody disbelieve a little old lady who commonly knits in front of her sheep pen consistently? So little Ronnie Anderson brought that $25K in cash and sent it into Lindsay.
Framing Gunner by using his envelope.
I want Gunner to be guilty so bad.
I really
Okay.
want Gunner to be guilty.
Well, so
We're going to do this all night.
Okay, well, that's why I'm... All right. I feel like you've got 3 strong cases. Sorry, Ronnie. I think you've got a strong case for Gunner. I think you've got a strong case for Lana, and I think you've got a strong case for Jane. I think to proceed into the actual roll, I feel like we got a thumbs up, thumbs down each of these, and whichever has the most wins. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a count of 3. And that's when you're going to throw a thumbs up or thumbs down.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to vote on each of these.
Right.
Everyone gets 1 vote.
Yeah, thumbs up, thumbs down. And I want everybody to close your eyes because I don't want people to be like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, it's like 7-Up.
Wait, we only get one.
1 positive vote.
No,
No?
You're going to vote for each. We're going to do each suspect.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to go thumbs up, thumbs down, and then whichever one has the most is going to be the yeah.
Suspect.
Right. So everyone close your eyes.
Right.
First suspect, Gunnar Holmstein. 1, 2, 3, vote. Okay, thumbs back. All right, for Lana
Feel it in my
Ho.
soul.
1, 2, 3, vote. And for Jane Stadler, 1, 2, 3, vote. All right. You can open your eyes now. Lana and Jane have 3 votes each. Gunnar has 2. That doesn't mean that he's innocent.
Yes,
that
it
just
does.
means that
He did it the least.
he's...
Ethan,
So-
you voted for Gunner, right?
I can't tell.
We can tell now the
it was
vote's
a double
over.
blind.
We go watch it on YouTube.
I don't even know who I voted for.
I literally voted for Gunner. I'm very
Oh, yeah.
disappointed.
Yeah.
Who do you
Me
want to make the theorize roll on? Jane or Lana?
I think
Lana.
I think it's funnerer to do Lana.
I think that if Jane's addicted to drugs, we could make a Jane's addiction joke.
Well, you did just make the joke, so you
I
kind
think
of shot
voting
your
Lana
own.
would put us in the danger zone.
Okay.
Janie brought a needle.
So who wants to make the roll?
I think Kyria over here should be making the
Oh
roll.
boy, you have been rolling some bones.
I don't know,
tonight.
but she's done really well, and I don't think
I think.
I'll do it.
Do it.
Yeah, Sarah, because you first.
Yeah,
Promoted
you,
this. Oh,
yeah.
you push the theory, so I think you make the roll.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So so we know the stakes here. You used all of the clues for this.
Not the sigils.
Except for the sigils.
Well, the void clue doesn't count.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's +8, -6 for the difficulty, which means you add +2. Now, before you roll, I want to read what happens here.
Okay.
When the Mavens have an open, freewheeling discussion about the solution to a mystery based on the clues that they have uncovered and reach a consensus, roll plus the number of clues found minus the mystery's complexity. On a 10+, it is it's the correct solution. The keeper will present an opportunity to take down the culprit or otherwise save the day. On a 7 to 9, the solution is correct, but the keeper will either add an unwelcome complication to the solution itself or present a complicated or dangerous opportunity to take down the culprit or save the day. On a 6 minus, the solution is incorrect and the keeper reacts. On a 12 plus, the person in the dark conspiracy of Brindlewood Bay also reveals themselves to the Mavens. Note, it does not matter who rolls the theorize when the time comes. Additionally, theorize is not subject to modifiers on the die roll, like advantage, the Gold Con Mysteries move, or anything like that, nor can it be affected by putting on a crown. So this is just a straight roll, plus 2. You want to get at least a 7 or better.
12 plus, 12 plus, 12 plus.
Seven.
Okay.
Oh boy. That was with a plus 2?
Damn.
Damn. Woof.
3-2.
Okay.
Jordan, for the fun of it, roll.
Yeah, just so we know what would have happened.
Thank God.
That would have sucked.
5.
Oh, you.
Fiver.
Yes.
All right.
Your Kyrie is
There we go.
shaped.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, yeah, we made the right choice.
I wish that would have been a 12.
I think so. Here's what happens. So you're like, well, we've let's go get Lana, and you and you go to her hotel, and the front desk clerk is like, no, I'm sorry, she checked out an hour ago.
Garchase.
That's
Margie.
quite suspicious.
Your bus.
So what you've got to do here, Margie, is you've got to figure out a way to stop her private plane from taking off.
Well, that's easy.
Megaphone time?
Should I MacGyver it?
Drive my bus on the
I don't
runway?
know. Yes,
Drive your
please.
bus on the runway.
Please.
I'll stand on top and megaphone at it while she MacGyvers
hold on.
something to
Yeah.
fuck
Y'all,
up
y'all.
What?
I gotta roll Rolodex of state officials.
Yeah.
Oh, we also haven't used biscuits yet.
I don't think I can throw biscuits at a plane.
I mean, you could, but you'd probably
these ever effing biscuits
I have 2 guns.
you could, but you'd be on to biscuit 7. So, I mean, I could call somebody at TSA
You
There you
could.
go.
I could throw
Okay.
measuring cups at it.
because most airports are county.
I could bribe the airport staff with tempeh.
I mean, who doesn't?
Okay,
You could
so
measure how
if
much
you wanna-
fuel was
so
put into the plane and
you're
make sure
going to
it's
make
counted.
the night move here.
Okay.
We're going on the night move.
Trying to lose those awkward teenage blues.
Awkward elderly blues. The night move. When you do something risky or face something that you fear, name what you're afraid will happen if you fail or lose your nerve. I will tell you how it is worse than you fear. You can choose to back down or go through with it. If you go through with it, you will roll an appropriate ability.
I'm afraid she's gonna get away.
I would be afraid that we would be arrested for breaking and entering at an airport.
In trying to bribe the
Trying to
TSA.
bribe the TSA.
We're not bribing the TSA.
No,
We're
she's
letting
calling
them
in favors here.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it's worse, because if you fail, those contacts are going to be like, we can't, you can't hang out with us anymore because you called in this. Because basically, Lana's lawyers will go after the government and you're going to get sued real bad. And the government is going to, your contacts will leave you out to dry. So you can go through with it, or you can back out.
Time to start faking dementia.
So roll your presence here.
That's not a good face.
11! Bitches!
Yes. Nice. Yes.
Sorry.
11.
All right. You do what you are intended, or you hold steady. Describe what it looks like.
Hey, Billy. Need you to stop a plane for me. We got somebody who committed a murder on it.
Ooh, a murder this time? That sounds awesome.
I know. It's usually just fraud.
So I think we have the scene is at the the little Brindlewood Bay airport, and like parked nose to nose is the private jet and the multicolor partridge bus. And you're all looking out of the windows as Lana is being led down the ramp from the private jet in cuffs, and she just kind of she coldly stares at all of you.
I have my glasses down my nose and I'm trying to take a picture.
I
She's
am.
lit off.
I'm currently wearing my gray alien mask.
Looks like the Mavens win again.
Add this to the scrapbook.
Oh, I just messed up this stitch again.
Oh, Fifi, not again.
Does anyone have a crown scene that they need to play?
Tawny does.
Yes.
What's
I chose a flashback of your fondest memory with one of your children, also known as my pug Louise.
Okay.
Lucille.
Lucille.
I mean, I like that name.
Yeah.
So, play the scene.
I think we open on a just a quaint little pet shop in Brindlewood Bay. Or
Society.
better yet. Now I'm thinking of that episode of Gilmore Girls where the Humane Society shows up and they have a bunch of puppies in the park and you can go play with them and then you can adopt one. So the Humane Society has showed up at the Brindlewood Bay Park, and they just have a bunch of puppies all over the place. And it's very recent after Gertrude's divorce. She's feeling quite lonely. So she wanders through the park and lays eyes on this adorable little pug. And she's never been much of a dog person, you see, but she looks into the eyes of Lucille, and she knows. She knows this is the pug that completes her life.
All right.
Aww.
Meanwhile, in the background, Stanley is snoring, and I'm sure you can hear that. Can you hear that? You
All
can't
right.
hear it? Okay, good.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, and we roll credits after that. Or maybe that's maybe it's like a post-credit scene. I don't know if we're going to do the expanded.
Well, they have the large block white letters, and you just see the scene in the background as the credits roll by.
Aw, yeah.
Just like a day in the life of one of the meddling mavens.
I almost want to I don't know. We've had such a wholesome time. I my GM instincts are I need to make it sinister, but I'm like, you know what?
Do it.
We've had fun tonight.
No. We can have happy. We're having happy.
Yeah, that's why I'm like.
As the Humane Society volunteer looks at Gertie, their eyes just turn black.
No!
before they
As they
blink.
turn away, the pug changes into a different shape. And
Here's how I would tie it in. So you pick them up, and the Humane Society person, hands you
Fill out all the
paperwork, blah, blah, blah. And she smiles, and you walk out the door, and she goes to mark down the sale of the dog and starts writing in the strange runes that you found in Jane's.
Can feel the dog.
So, we'd like to thank you all for going through Brindlewood Bay with us as an experience, whether you are watching us on YouTube or listening to us via your favorite podcast app. We hope that we entertained you and that you take a chance on playing a small indie game like this. After the intense experience of our Delta Green season, I think that this was an excellent palate cleanser for everybody. It's one of the reasons why I really like this game, because it's very light and very fun. I mean, we still have some weird darkness stuff that maybe we'll explore But either way, even just playing and meeting these ladies, it was a ton of fun to watch. Not like it's fun for me to watch the theorize move, because I basically just get to sit here and go, yeah, sure, whatever. You guys drive. I'm gonna do this. Like, in previous sessions, I've had an NPC, like waitress come in and be like, so, well, what do you think about this thing? But it was it was really fascinating for me to watch Sarah just sort of take the wheel and be like, no, this is what's happening. So,
Sorry, guys.
that's how the game is supposed to work. Like you bat it around until somebody is like, no, this is my theory, and everyone else is like,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, that sounds about right. So kudos to us for actually coming up, barreling down on a plan as well. So, all right, I'd like to thank you all for watching the show or listening on podcast. We hope that you come back and check out some of our other games as well. I had a ton of fun playing this. I hope everybody else had a ton of fun. But for Theater of the Mind players, we are
Tawny P. Thompson,
Ethan Exit Anderson,
Sarah Babe,
Jordan Fishburn,
Tony Cheek.
and as always, our Lord of the Board.
Brad Davies.
From all of us here at Theater of the Mind players, we'd like to thank you for spending your time with us, and we want you to just repeat to yourself, it's only a game. We should really just relax. Congratulations, fellow human! You've reached the end of an exciting episode of Theater of the Mind Players. If you enjoyed our story, please like the video. If you want more games, subscribe to our channel. Attack the bell for notifications on new posts. If you liked the episode, please tell us what you enjoyed the most in the comments. If you loved the episode, consider joining our Patreon. You'll get access to special shows, session zeros, and help us determine what we play on the show. We love our friends of Pat Rayon, and we hope to see you there.